Welcome to the show, sponsored by Coffee Time Again, exposing the truth. Dale as usual here at the old mic. Today's show is on capitalism with a little history thrown in for fun. It's a bit longer than most, however it is important to know about the history of capitalism and the motive for profit. What drives it? What are about the leaders of industry and the greed factor? So don't forget the coffee as you listen to the show. Capitalism. The talk is that socialism is better than capitalism. Well then, why did socialism always fail? Don't talk to me about the so-called socialist democracies. Just look at the way the EU is going and you'll know. We only have to study history and the truth will be exposed. However, this is not about socialism, but capitalism and big business and the profit motive. It's a fact that raw capitalism built this country from nothing to what it was before the left and liberals took over our schools, legislatures, etc., and are taking over our businesses with their laws against the profit motive. Let's look at what the profit motive really does. Have you ever gotten a job from a poor man? Neither have I. It's called the entrepreneurship and has been going on since the dawn of time, I suspect. Since the start of the colonies in the North American continent, there has been entrepreneurs starting a business, both men and women. Where do you go to get your clothes, food, gas, jewelry? In fact, where do you go to get anything you want or need? At a store of some kind, I suppose, whether it be a national, multinational company or a small local store. It was all started by a person who wanted to make money. I wonder if you work for free, or do you want a check? What a question. In the early 1800s and early 1900s, the people were complaining about the robber barons. All they did was make a ton of money. Today, there's a new crop of businesses and people to complain about as they make a ton of money. By the way, if you don't know about robber barons, you need to go back to high school and learn about them. All they did was start a business, hire a bunch of the unemployed, and make money at the business school to be a large company even today. Some of them are still in business and making a ton of money. The big complaint is they don't pay taxes. Well, I got news for you, they do. Do you find every deduction you can on your taxes? That is what they do, except they have larger and more ways to get deductions. However, they do pay taxes. I will not list them all here, but some are payroll taxes, property taxes, unemployment taxes, etc. Without the role of men and women starting business, where would we be now? Still in wooden huts, hunting for our meals with a musket? It's people who are brave enough to step out and start a business and discover new ways to do things and build the country. It is from big business that new inventions come from. If it be a big business or brand new, just starting out, that is where new technology comes from. Do you think that taking over our business will help anyone, except for the ones at the top of the food chain? Capitalism has worked for millennia, so why mess with it now? Yes, it has its difficulties. However, socialism only has downside. All you have to do is look at the history of the 20th century for both capitalism and socialism and see what went on with the economies then. There was a Great Depression which lasted a decade and was not caused by capitalism as some claim. The causes are complex. However, it's FDR's policies that led to an additional 5-6 years to the length of the Depression, I believe from my research. I will not bore you with all the details. They are out there for you to see. Depressions, recessions, downturns, upturns all built into the economy and will happen when the bubbles break, as they did in the 2007-2008, the largest recovery from recession ever under Barack Obama's policies. There have been depressions and recessions from the time bank, stock market speculations have been around. There will be more if we continue to move towards socialism. There's been more businesses started during recessions than during uptimes. The reason is that being out of work starts a person to think, and they're hungry. Then they get inspired to start a business. Most don't make it, not because of the economy, because of bad business practice. All big businesses started out as small business. Think about it. Was IBM a multinational company when it first opened its doors? Microsoft was in a garage when Bill Gates and Paul Allen started it. Standard Oil, all the oil companies, all the railroads, the small local companies, all the large businesses started out small. They grew into large multinational companies over time and good business practices. As the world grew smaller thanks to big business and transportation improved, big national companies became large multinational companies on both sides of the Atlantic and Pacific. Thanks to World War II, small companies grew into large business. All the auto giants became giants following World War II thanks to the booming economy and the financial policies of the government at the time, President Eisenhower and President Truman to some extent. Federal regulations have caused major problems with big businesses through the decades. From President Wilson through President Biden, all were fighting the growth of the businesses in the USA. Even through Congress, by executive orders, they changed how business was done in America. It did not help that the public was yelling their very strong voice to make the changes as they saw, in some cases correctly, that the problem was the economy was the big business, and it was big business that caused all the recessions with their practices. Nonsense. The public blamed businesses for all the ills of the world, from cancer, autism, mental health problems, crime, etc., war. The fall of Enron in late 2001 was at the time the largest failure in American history, until 2002, when WorldCom failed. This caused the public, Congress, and the President to call for more regulation, which stifled businesses again. Then in 2007-08, there was another big failed business. Lehman Brothers and other financial industries failed, which led to the financial worldwide recession. Both Presidents Bush and Obama attempted to control the economy and failed badly. As big financial companies failed, the government and other economists tried to stop it from being a depression. We are told it was a success, and it was just a very bad recession. I am not so sure that we were told the truth here. And however, as we all know, the government does not lie to its people. Yeah, when Barack Obama became president, in my honest opinion, he did nothing right concerning the recession, and it became the longest-lasting recovery in history. Today, I believe that the Deutsche Bank, the German national bank, is on the brink of failure for the same reason that Lehman Brothers and other leading financial companies to fail in 2007-08. According to my sources, this could lead to a real worldwide depression. Of course, this led to more laws from the Barack Obama administration, as we were told it would not allow banks to do that as Lehman Brothers and others to do, cause them to fail. There were other causes of the recession, like the real estate bubble, and several large real estate businesses fell and more laws were passed. Result were laws that restricted businesses, which kept the recession going far longer than it needed to be. This is the same with Franklin Delano Roosevelt's failure during the Great Depression, as his policies were what kept the Depression going 5-6 years beyond what it needed to be. According to his own Treasury Secretary, I might add, all depressions and recessions I've seen during my research is greed is the real cause of them. I looked back at history to the 1800s, and it shows the same causes repeatedly, and the same result. The government always just passed more laws to stop what was blamed by the men and women responsible for the depression or recession, their own greed. Here's an example. On Silver Thursday was an event that occurred in the United States. Silver commodities on Thursday, March 27, 1980, following the attempt by brothers Nelson Bunker Hunt, William Herbert Hunt, and Lamar Hunt to corner the silver market. A subsequent steep fall in silver prices led to panic on the commodity and future exchanges. This led to a loss of billions of dollars for a lot of people and businesses. The Hunt brothers were held accountable for their actions and ended up declaring bankruptcy in 1988. The real good individuals started with a big idea and little else and built on an empire in short years were the ones who built this country. Yes, there was graft, greed, theft, backstabbing, all kinds of mayhem in building America in the early years of the Industrial Revolution. The sad news is still here today. It is due to the human behavior. This leads to corruption. And when the business fails, it is the business, right? Not the leaders of the industry and their cronies. Now that I've scourged mankind for its greed and corruption, it's time to look at money, the profit. Without profit, there'd be no business, no commerce, no goods for the people to buy and use. It takes money to bring a product, a new business to work. No one that I know would work for no wages of some kind. Back in the day, before money, they bartered for trade, not real efficient for large transactions. In small bazaars everywhere is where you traded for what they had for what you wanted or needed, for what they wanted or needed. About anything to be used to trade if somebody wanted it. Over the eons, things changed. Rare things came to represent trade goods, such as precious metals, stones, and even for a time salt was used. Roman soldiers were paid in salt. That's where we get the saying, worth his salt. Here's an example. Quote, coins were introduced as a method of payment around the 5th or 6th century BCE. The inventions of coins are still shrouded in mystery. According to Herodotus 194, coins were first introduced by the Lydians, while Aristotle claims that the first coins were minted by Demodic of Crete, wife of King Midas of Phrygia. Numismatists consider the first coins were minted on the Greek island of Aegea, either by the local rulers or by King Ferdinand of Argos. From https://www.worldhistory.org/coinage, and that's the end of the quote. As we've seen, big businesses are responsible for the misery of millions of people. However, it was the greed of the men that led to this, not the business. I believe that the managers, presidents, CEOs, chairmen, and chairwomen, and others with the reins of power in their hands should be brought to justice, not more laws. Laws only stifle businesses And we are saying that is the last thing we need, as this could lead to more problems as shown by history. Thank you for listening to my rants and raves. There are show notes and a place to comment at https://coffee-time-again.lisbon, that's Lisbon, LIBSYN.com/website. I hope you liked what you heard and will tell others about me. I'm attempting to get a following that both disagrees and agrees with me. I do not want just yes men. If you disagree, wonderful. I'm happy to have you here as a part of the Coffee Time Again team. I do not talk about the news of the day. I'm attempting to give a history lesson that is just as important about what is going on as the headlines of the day. Please do not hesitate to contact me. Just remember that I want a clean show, meaning no cussing, name-calling, yelling, or hate aloud. You can disagree with me and not be disagreeable about it. If you have an idea for a show, just send me an email at host@coffee-time-again.com or on the comments at the show's website. As usual, please consider supporting the Convention of States, also known as the Article 5 Convention. It is very, very important to our country. Their website is www.conventionstates.com. Their agenda is full of great ideas, including term limits for members of Congress, not the least of their ideas. But again, thank you for enjoying the show, and I hope you come back to see the next one. Goodbye, and be safe out there, everybody. It's a little rough around the edges, as a friend of mine used to say.